In the realm of YouTube, where dreams weave into the fabric of pixels, we bring you the tale of William Liu, a creator, a dreamer, and the orchestrator of the grandest hip-hop battle the world has ever seen, Journey to the Top. In the heartbeat of the world, where dreams illuminate the sky, emerges the grandeur of hip-hop mastery. 42nd Street at Times Square, New York City. Welcome to Journey to the Top. Behold, the stage that transcends boundaries and challenges. Journey to the Top, where the persistent beat of dreams echoes through every step. At the helm of this global spectacle stands William Liu, a relentless architect of movement, a dream weaver whose beats resonate across continents. Witness the convergence of hip-hop virtuosos from the neon-lit streets of New York to the cobblestone alleys of London and the City of Lights, Paris. Journey to the Top, where nations become dance partners in the persistent pursuit of excellence. In the heart of his concrete jungle, William Liu orchestrates a global dance of persistence and consistency, where every move is a testament to unwavering ambition. This is not merely a dance battle. This is Journey to the Top, an anthem of persistence echoing through the very soul of Times Square, where dreams converge and hip-hop resonates as the heartbeat of the world. This film is powered by Green Ox Cinema.
Hey, what's going on, guys? So I am William Liu, aka JTT Moon online. I am a professional hip-hop dancer. I've been doing production and dance for a very long time. I believe since I was like 15 up until today. What actually got me into YouTube is actually a very interesting story. The whole thing actually started through an event hosted by MrBeast. MrBeast is the largest YouTuber on the platform currently, and he hosted a video called the Squid Games, and so I got invited to that, and being able to see the level of production that he works at inspired me to actually start doing YouTube videos. And from there, we've just been kind of grinding, doing YouTube every single day until we get what we want, which is to develop one of the largest dance battle competitions in the world. And we're building it from scratch so that you guys can really see the history of where we started up until wherever you guys are seeing it from. Yeah, so MrBeast really affected me like mentally because I had an understanding of what people do on the internet. I mean, obviously you see celebrities and YouTubers running around making videos all the time, but really being there to experience what he really does, what true production really looks like. My world was flipped upside down, and from that day forward, I was like, I understand. Like, this is what he does. Like, yeah, okay, maybe he's at a scale, but if you scale it down and you really just take in everything that he does, it's possible. Like, you just gain so much knowledge from just simply being there to see what he does, and you can apply it to your everyday life.
I recreated every single set from Squid Game in real life.
Yeah, so the Squid Games, that was probably one of the craziest and most interesting days of my entire life. If you guys can imagine, 456 different people were flown out to one place to compete in this large, Squid Games. You guys have probably seen the show on Netflix, to compete for $500,000. And so even though it was a huge competition, but at the end of the day, it is a production. So if you guys can imagine, it was basically a summer camp for kids, but instead of it being a bunch of kids, we're all adults, So, and MrBeast really covers all of our finances, which is like food, living, and all of our expenses. So, as an adult, you really had the opportunity to hang out and play and to really have fun on the set. So, and how that changed my perspective on production, it just allowed me to really see what production truly means at a high level. What do people actually do? And once I've seen it for the first time, I was able to apply it to my everyday life. And that's when I decided, this was possible. I can do this, because the empty spaces and gaps of things I didn't know versus things I did know were filled. So the whole idea of the hip hop dance battle stuff that we do is because I have been battling and I've been studying battles for a very long time, but they're very difficult to come by. So we try to create events for people to come together to do. But the main thing that we're trying to do here is that, in my opinion, I believe that dancers all over the world are overworked, underpaid, underappreciated. So we figured building a platform for dancers, to come together and do something exciting would benefit us like as a whole to do something about that whole issue. So I remember in the very first day, once I got back from this MrBeast Squid Games, I was deciding, you know what, this is possible. I can do this. Like I'm gonna apply this. Like from this day forward, there was like a fire in my chest that was lit, because if you guys didn't know, during COVID, I was a dancer and I was, teaching classes and I was doing a lot of these things. But because my job is very physical, I couldn't do any of my jobs, so I ended up losing everything. And during that time, I actually almost gave up. I gave up on everything. And on the same day I gave up, I remember I was actually sitting in my car driving home from either a middle school or a high school after school like Chinese thing where I was teaching some classes, and I was bawling my eyes out because I was considering giving up on my life goals and my dreams. And then while I was driving home, I got a phone call from this unsolicited number. I was like, this number I didn't recognize. And so normally I hang up numbers that I don't recognize because they're usually scams, right? But for something in my soul prevented me from hanging this phone call up. It's like a force field. It was like, I try to hang it up. It's like, ugh. So what I did was instead I pulled over to the side of the road and I picked up the phone. I was like, hello, who is this? And I'm not gonna say the name because I don't know if the person wants, because I know the person's name, but essentially somebody from the MrBeast staff team called and said, hey, so you've been invited to the MrBeast Squid Games. And I was like, is this a scam? Like, what is going on right now? And I was losing my mind. And so essentially because of that whole issue, a lot of my motivation was like down the slope. And then when I got that call, I got excited again. And again, after experiencing the Squid Games and being able to talk with Carl and Chris and, MrBeast and everyone else that were on the staff team. Again, I'm not gonna say their names because I don't know if they want to be mentioned. It just like relit a fire in my soul. And so from that day forward, I decided to continue to chase my dreams, but not only to do it, to do like the absolute, thing that I wanted to build, which is the largest dance battle competition in the world. And I'm not gonna stop trying to achieve that for like the rest of my life. I had 0 subscribers, $0 in my bank account. I had nothing to work with. I went to my local Long Branch beach to actually make a video, and it was super funny because I showed up there with no plan, a couple cameras, no idea what's going on. I'm like, let's do a dance battle with random people, completely random ass people. And what I did was I ran around the beach from the dock to every corner of the beach, like on the dock, on the beach, wherever people are laying down on the floor. And I said, hey, we're doing a dance battle in about like an hour. If you guys want to come up and do this thing, I'm giving away, $35 and stuff like that. And I got a bunch of no's, but I got a bunch of yeses. And it was chaotic because I asked so many people. We actually were just able to develop this crowd of people to do this dance battle. And then we did it. There was this one guy who came in, and then there was this little kid, and basically it was fun. The little kid won, we gave him the money. His family came in, it was a super wholesome moment. And then from there, we just had fun. The video completely got taken over by everyone on the beach. It was like this freestyle like Jersey club to this rap battle thing. It was crazy. I had no control over the video. But the important thing is that from there forward, we had a base to work with. I understood, okay, this is gonna be a lot harder than I thought, but this is something to work with. So I'm like, all right, how do I level up from there? Because from that day forward, I follow what MrBeast has said to all of us as a general whole, is that you always want to make sure that every upload was better than the last. So now that I have this base, how do I level up? Okay, so this is what I got to work with. I still have basically 0 subscribers. I still have no money. So what do I need to do? So my productions require a lot of people to actually compete in it. You need people to film, you need people to dance. All right, how do I get a bunch of people to do things for free? I thought about this for a second, and I was like, I have an idea. You know who do things for free? Gamers. So what I did was I actually went to my local college, and I just pretended like I went to school there, but I didn't go to school there. I just told people I did so people would talk to me. And I went there and I there's this huge gaming tournament going on, and there's people that are supposed to be filming the game tournament. There were mascots or whatever. And within the same day, I went into the area and I took over like one room, and I pretty much poached all the people that were supposed to be filming the gaming event into my room, and I started walking up to gamers being like, yo, you know, we're doing a dance battle thing, whatever. And obviously gamers, they generally don't want to dance and stuff. I said, but what if I gave you $100? And then everybody started mauling me. I said $100 and everybody was surrounding me. So we were able to get people for the dance battle thing. And it was super crazy because every single person in that video, from the camera people, from the clapping, from the dancers, I met every single one of them that day. And it was crazy because I even had the idea to film that video that day. So that was an adventure. And so we actually got that video out. It's called, we titled it, I Gave Away $100 or something like that. And from that video, we were like, okay, how do I level up one more time? Like, how do I increase the quality of this video one more time? I'm like, all right, well, we're doing a dance battle. You know, what makes sense for dancers? A dance studio. That makes sense to me, right? Dance studio, dance battle, makes sense to me. So I kind of just rented out this dance studio for us to film in, and I basically DM'd like 1 million people on Instagram and got, you know, out of like, I think I DM'd like 100 people and I got 3 people to show up, which was super cool. And then I had these 2 other kids that were just kind of bystanders that I threw into the video, which was super funny anyway. And then that happened, and so, you know, we had this battle go in. It was very fun, and it was cool. Then from that video, once again, I have to be like, how do I level up this one more time? We went from the beach to the school, to the studio, and then how do I level up this one more time? So then I decided, you know what if we went and did this video in the middle of the mall? So what we did was we actually rented out the space inside of like our public mall, and we just filmed that video right there. It was super crazy. And, you know, after we finished that video, we had to, you know, level up one more time. So what do? We just did the exact same thing one more time, but instead we just focused on one thing at a time. So we just made the intro better. From there, we moved on and was like, all right, how do I get like one up this one more time? Like every time I have to one up this video. And then from there, we went from the mall, and then suddenly I had the brightest idea, and we managed to get ourselves into New York City. And I was just screaming, behind me we gathered 6 professional dancers from New York City. That was a brand first time doing that ever. And I remember the amount of stress that I had to take in to get there because of the permits, the environment, the everything. We had people from Paris, we had a Kids Bop kid, we had like Good Morning America right next to us. We had like, it was crazy. And the worst part is that we planned this video a month before. And in terms of permits and getting everything together, I didn't get this like my spot officialized until like the night before the event, because I was struggling with actually getting all of the information together because I was brand spanking new. Like I didn't know what I was doing. So it was probably like one of the most stressful videos of my entire life, but we got it done. I mean, we got like 5,000 views on that video, but it was a fun event. It was the first time we did something really big and a really solid base to work on. And then from there, we just continued and decided New York City was a really great place to be. So, and because the adults one was actually like really expensive, we decided, you know what if we did the same video again, but we like focused more on the editing aspect of it. So we hyped up a lot of the editing, but to save us some cost, we actually like decided to do a kids event. So the kids can have something fun to do, and the parents can have fun and be happy, and then we can also save some money and practice on some editing. And then after that video, one more time, we actually toned down the editing. We're like, all right, let's focus more on the filming aspect. How do we get the dancers to look nicer? And so that's what we worked on the next video. And then up to today, from what you guys are watching, we've kind of put everything together that we learned from all these years of trying to build this show. So the filming, the editing, everything, we put it together. And, you know, we still have a lot to learn, but we're constantly, you know, every day reading the analytics, trying to segment and pace the videos as best as we can. So the show is called Journey to the Top, once again. And so it is literally from ground zero, watching us build the largest dance battle competition in the world, from absolute zero to the #1 spot. One of the biggest inspirations that got me into dance in general are probably the Twins. I was like very into like ballroom and modern like ballet kind of culture-ish growing up. But I stumbled upon the Twins. I saw one video and I fell in love. And from there, I've just been studying and analyzing them. And then I started studying the Jabberwockies and Fiction and Schizo and Blueprint and Key to the Great and, you know, a bunch more names. Yeah, I've just been obsessed after just seeing one YouTube video. It's really just YouTube that inspired me. So it comes full circle, you know what I mean? I mean, my personal background, the person who affected me the most growing up, like literally, like person per person, is probably a good friend of mine, like Gio Hubella from the Iconic Boys. You know, I was looking for a hip hop school, you know, after trying to like invest in this type of stuff. And I was denied by every school because apparently nobody wants to teach hip hop, at least for what I was looking for. And then ran into Gio. Gio was super cool, kind of gave me the experience that I wanted or I was looking for. We did do a couple of ventures with him, like we went to China together and did some other stuff. We also did like the World Dance Championship and it was fun. It was, you know, it was fun and I appreciate the time and everything, yeah. I mean, I know that there's a lot of interest in hip hop and in battles and breaking, but the scene has kind of slowed down a little bit because there isn't enough representation there. And most people in the world don't actually know that it exists. So there's a high amount of interest in the styles and in the culture, but there's just not enough exposure for people to know that it's like a thing. So I would talk about, you know, hip hop and the battle scene and, you know, like the Jabberwockies or the Twins or the, you know, anything of that nature, the breakdancers. People just don't know it exists. Like I've had hundreds of conversations with hundreds of people. Like I would say one person out of like 30 people would know like that it exists. It's kind of crazy. So we're gonna try to change that, you know, get people more involved, get the kids more involved, you know, fill up the studios and, you know, create some type of fun event for people to get really, truly excited.
You don't wanna battle me.
The battles are usually public, so you can show up to them and have fun and watch. And, you know, we're going to just push the limits of our production to hype up the dance industry as much as we can. Biggest setback to overcome are two things. One is for people to know that we exist, because when you're trying to build something like this, it requires a lot of people. And to get your name out there or for get people to want to even work with you when you have nothing to offer, it is incredibly difficult, which is why we have to kind of grind and really push for, you know, slowly getting people interested in what we're doing. The second thing is, like, you know, as you guys can probably tell from like the way we film our videos, it can get pretty expensive. So how we overcame that, those two setbacks, just talking to as many people as possible, running to every person we can, and working a bajillion hours. Like sometimes I would come home, work a 16-hour shift just to make money for the shoots, because everything comes out of my pocket, and just pass out. Like my body would knock, I'm done. So actually what's very interesting is how do I cover the self-doubt or, you know, blacks or, you know, maybe possibly what people would call burnout. See, what fuels me is that, you know, what I do is I watch the videos or watch back at what we do. And again, the reason why we're actually building this is so we can support dancers all over the world to help people along the way, while also building a community that people really care about. So when we watch videos back, I not only watch the dancers and the judges, but I watch the reactions of people that stand on the side, the way that their face brightens up, the way that they smile, the way that, you know, you've potentially changed or made someone's day that day. That's what pushes me to build something like this to move forward, because you know that at the end of the day, you either made someone's day or made a difference or made a change in somebody's life. And that's what we do. It's really important to me. In the next year or two, I mean, listen, I hope that we can maybe hit somewhere between 500,000 to 1 million subs between a year and two from now. We'll have a huge leap forward to potentially having one of the largest dance battle competitions in the world. And like I said before, we're never gonna stop until we actually have that title. So whoever actually does have that title, we're coming after you. Who's just starting their journey as a YouTuber, listen, I know that there's a lot of difficulties and fears and people holding you back, telling you that it's risky and all that stuff. YouTube is 100% skill. That's what I've learned from working and seeing everyone else do this. And if I can make it, you can make it, because I literally started with nothing. I had no money. I mean, that's not a problem. You can literally just whatever you can manifest in your mind and that you want to do, just do it. It's really difficult to grasp the concept of just do it. But literally just do it. I mean, so what's really stopping you? Imagine how far you can make it if failure wasn't an option. Like if you knew that you couldn't fail, how far do you think you can get? All the experience that I gained up until today, I wish I knew all this so I can, you know, have progressed a lot faster, but I'm still happy with how fast I'm progressing. I mean, you know, it's a long journey. Well, we got it, working on it every day. Realistically though, if I were to go back in time and give myself knowledge, I would literally go to myself before I entered the Squid Games and said, yeah, pick any door besides that one, because I got the umbrella and that was BS. So MrBeast, if you're watching this, I'm now afraid and traumatized of umbrellas. Thank you.
Chris, go for it.
I grew up wanting to be one of the best or the top level battlers in the world. Like I've always wanted to train to be something like that. But what I've realized is that I'm an outsider. Like if you guys didn't know, I didn't grow up on hip hop. It's not like my parents were hip hop people. I'm a Chinese dude. Like my parents probably at most told me to be like a doctor or something. As an outsider, it's very difficult to find events to train. It was very frustrating for me. And I even remember going to studio after studio. Do you know where battles are? You know where this is? You know what this? So I was like, you know what, forget it. If I can't find it, I'm gonna make it. So you know what, this is what we're doing now. We're creating a dance battle show for people that are like me who wanna compete and have easy access.